Hey, g'day guys. Sam here from TradeToProspa. It's been a while, hasn't it? I'll just give you a bit of a background to what's been happening with me so you can understand. I live in Australia, Melbourne, for the past probably 5, 6 days. It's been very hot here, and the markets aren't that great. So I just took time off, enjoy with my family, go to the beach, and it's still warm. And I thought I better just do something on the crypto market and give you a bit of an update on what my thoughts are, and let's see how we go. So I'm not going to rush this. I haven't prepared for it really, and so it's pretty much work in progress. And I've just pulled up some old charts and see how they are faring in regards to what I've done, and then see if there's any trading opportunities on as well. So let's begin with the main indicators for the crypto market, which has a fair bit of correlation in the past, and that is the SP 500. And if you can resolve the SP 500, you probably can pretty much trade very well in the long term. So what I've done in the past is I had a channel, and if I was to bring this channel up along those lines, maybe I could just get rid of some of these. That was pretty much a channel along the way. So from here, we just pretty much went in this channel, and what we did is we went to the extreme from this channel, and obviously it comes back to the medium for the core of this channel. That is what we expect when there's a channel of some sort. Until it, whoops, let me do that again. Just give you a bit of an understanding of my thoughts. If I have a channel of some sort, price stays with it. Price is showing that it's got pivot points along that channel, and when you go above it, it tends to come back to the middle, and sometimes it comes down hard and it comes and ricochets back up, and so on. So your main trend is that way. Now, if you break this, sometimes the channel can give you an indication of a change in trend, and so you start getting a new trend. And so you might come down, and then starts, and that's when you have a new trend. So it doesn't matter what time frame it is. That could be a change in trend, and therefore you got to change your mentality. And what we tend to do is with pitchfork theory. Whoops, let me do that again. This one here, where is it? Pitchfork. I'll try to do it here if I could. Okay, so this is a pitchfork tool, and it basically does a channel of some sort with Fibonacci. So you go along that pitchfork, and if you look at this pitchfork from this level to there, it's pretty much 100% to 200%. And if you go above that, it's a change in trend. Similarly, if you go to the extremes, if you change the pitchfork and you go outside the 200%, it's a change in trend. So far, we haven't changed trend for the macro at all. We've changed trend on the weekly, obviously, but on the monthly or yearly, we haven't. So let's have a look at the yearly before we just continue on. I want to give you that background information to help understand what this channel is looking like, And let's just get rid of that. And we don't need that. Oops, I do need that. I don't need this. So if we go to the yearly, it'd be interesting, wouldn't it be? Let's see how we go. So you can see the SP500 on the yearly. Bugger. And I really don't like this. I just, for God's sake, don't need all this stuff on the yearly. We've got some moving averages as well. So you can see since 1997, geez, on the yearly perspective, we had this, and it's basic really, isn't it? So you, and I saw this chart before, but it makes sense. So here we go, broadening wedge, and then a breakout. There you go. Now let's try this. This is interesting. I've never looked at this before, and mediums there. Okay, and let's see what we do. 3.618, 2.618, and let's just get those key levels in there. Yeah, 3.618 with 4.618. That's our 4.618. And can we make it? Got those tops? Yeah, it is. Here's a Fibonacci. Far out. Look at that. So I hit the 4.618 level and then pulled back. So what I did, it's making sense from there to there. That's 0 and 1. And you can see how it didn't quite do with the 2.618, but it definitely did the 4.618. Interesting. Either way, you can see this this section here. The moving average is probably, we almost got there, didn't quite get there, but it's still an option on the yearly chart. So look at that year, far out, big wick. So that was a good bullish sign in that year. Here, we pretty much finished the candle, didn't we? So the candle closed, and the candle in the past, when it closes like that, example, this is obviously a bad year, but such like that is a bearish indicator. This is almost engulfed, so it could still go. It doesn't really give you much, but there's a bit of a wick, and so we might just go sideways for a while in this year. There is nothing bullish or bearish about it. It's just undecided, which sort of makes sense. So let's go back to 2 weeks. Okay. So having a closer look at this. A bearish, so the 2 weeks we had a bearish candle, and here was a bearish candle. So what I'm thinking is this was wave 3 to 4. Wave 5 is probably down here. So if you look at this chart, I'll do justice, is probably not the best. And I've got a few other charts. Here, where is that? Here we go. That there, along those lines, this channel, so that's capitulation when we drop. This was our support, and that's our moving average level, and there's a Fibonacci level as well. So, and we can probably extend that. It does look like it's coming down, and eventually, this, if we break this resistance trend line, it's going to be very bullish. So nothing clear yet on the 2 weekly. If we look at the indicators, let's have a look at that. and see if they help us at all. All right, so the indicators, we have a squeeze coming through. Yep, definitely aligns with this descending wedge. But however, we can also have something like that coming into it. So if it breaks the below, it's going to come down for a bounce. So at the moment, it looks like it wants to go up. It's on the moving average. It might come up and then down. And this is where it's going to get tested. Either it's going to go up like that, or we're going to see that. In the past, there's a lot of examples where we break the moving averages, gets retested, and then comes down, gets retested, comes down further. Similarly here, gets retested on the moving averages, comes down, bounce, gets retested, and capitulates. So in that scenario, there's a lot of other dynamics taking place in this. And are we going to look at that as a reference? That's one reference potential model, but you can see how these RSIs, this RSI, pretty much gave us an easy way to find it. So if we look at that, the crossover there, bullish divergence, very bullish divergence there. So price is coming down. So let's have a closer look. When price comes down like that, you have a descending wedge of some sort and a breakout, and the RSI pretty much helps you out. There's a bullish divergence there. You can see that's a bullish divergence while price is coming down. You've got this bullish divergence taking place, and you've got the MACD confirming the reversal. That's on a 2-week chart. Here, it's not as drastic. It just keeps bouncing down. And so what we have is this here. We have this trend line, which sort of matches us now today. We're looking at this from a number of perspectives. And if we look at this, we probably have that line. And finding that line is the hard part. And again, what we want to see is bullish divergence taking place, and we have that. So this is sort of flattened out, and we've got bullish divergence. We've got the MACD crossover there, but it takes a while for it to continue on. So it's not an initial good indicator. RSI is also, but once you get a trend line, a clear trend line broken, the RSI does help, and so on. So when we look at this as well, so let's look at this closely. I really want to get rid of this channel. And let me just do this for a sec, guys. And let's fix up this. Okay, the MACD hasn't crossed over, so it's not. It's probably getting a rejection at the moment, so it's not crossed over yet. So there's nothing positive about this, nothing bullish about this, and we have what seems to be an initial trend line that we are interested in to go bullish. What does that mean? That this needs to get a reversal right here, a good support. If we look at on a smaller time frame here, we can see the point. So set up my Fibonacci. 0.5 is trying to hold this level up. So we have a swing high, swing low type of scenario. It hit our Fib 1, found the resistance, and then pretty much a sell-off. We might this might look like it's going to try to come back here, and I dare say with these moving averages and the trend line, it's going to be a strong resistance. It's going to come down. It's going to come down, and then it's going to get really. We're going to have this type of setup, and that setup is going to be a squeeze, and we're going. It is a squeezing area, and then likely to make a decision. So there is no bullish sign anytime soon. Short term wise, we might get a bounce and look for a shorting position there, guys. That's what I think. If it breaks above it, that is a bullish sign. Then we've got the 21 moving average, and then that could be a resistance as well. So short term wise, I do think there will be a bit of a bounce, but we need to. Would I trade it? No. This would have been a good position to short, like I said in the past. Bearish candle, shooting star type of thing. I think it was on another chart. I think it was on Dow Jones. But that's what I see at the moment. I do see this moving average. I do think this is going to come here, get a bounce, and get a rejection here. So that's what I got. How Bitcoin correlates to this, we'll come to that. Here's the Dow Jones. Yep, shooting star, two bearish candles, a little bit of a green candle. It's jack all. And I'll probably use this. What time frame is this? This is the weekly. And there is nothing bullish about this at the moment. Bit of a rejection, and you can see it's trying to hold on to that fib level. And is that nothing significant? It's just a Fibonacci level that it's trying to hold on to. Previous resistance, now it's trying to act as support. I think it's going to go down. On Dow Jones, US dollar. So here's the thing. Even if the US dollar drops, it doesn't mean SP 500 is going to go up. There was a lot of correlation, but this does look like the US dollar is dropping, and that's probably because the euro is going up and so on. But when we look at this, there's nothing special at the moment. Let's see on our indicators. Okay, so we had that. That didn't quite work out. It broke above this triangle, but just come back down. It's ugly at the moment. Nothing that can really help us out at this point. This is a one-day chart. Let's look on the 2-day. Yeah, okay. So I've got that middle channel. Let's see on the 3-day. Where's the momentum? The momentum's still down. Like wave trend, it hasn't. MACD is still spreading across. Bit of a bullish. Yeah, nothing. Still downward pressure on the bigger time frame. And when we do this on the US dollar, yeah, it's headed down to this strong trend line support. It's played a big role many times before. Sorry, there and there. So I do feel like this is where we might get a bit of a bounce, and then we'll see. So this area is just a squeeze area, and then we'll see which way up or further down. Done a nice pullback. I do expect a bit of a bounce, but I think it's still got downward pressure. Indicators haven't shown any reversal. There's no reversal. We want to see something like that come into play where it crosses over on the 3-day chart. So at the moment, when we look closely, even though RSI is slowly coming down, no bullish divergence at the moment. In terms of correlation, we can't really use this. There is nothing there. All right, moving on to US 100. Similarly, it's just exactly the same. And here's our total crypto market cap. And this is our dominance. And then we've got Bitcoin. So we're just working our way through. And let's see. So I like to see the total market cap. I've set this up in the past. I set up my Fibonacci, and you can see from the top, and I use this neckline for some reason as one. And let's see how I did that. Okay, so I did a swing low, a fib extension from there to there to there. That is our fib extension. So we've got that level. We dropped that level, obviously, and I'm looking potentially there as the main bottom. So let's go close. And here's the other Fibonacci, which is from the bottom to level of 1, and we've got these fibs on the way down. Similarly here, 0 and 1, and we've got this Fibonacci 618, and we're below it. So let's have a closer look. So you can see we had a rising wedge, and it's hit its target. Perfect. So very similar to this. Yeah, we had a rising wedge. Price made its way down to the root of it. Rising wedge, price pretty much made it down to it. So this is the total market cap. And what we've seen, and I think I've shared this before, if you look at the correlation with some of the Fibonacci levels, you can see how this level was very strong with along this 1.44, and then there's these other levels. This didn't quite. So here we have a bit of a level. That's what's acting as resistance at the moment, and a bit of support. Yeah, it did actually support there, and we've dropped it. This is going to be a strong resistance, this fib. And if you look across, is there much correlation? That blue line, this is what's holding it up. Previous top, bit of support there. So that's what's holding it up. Now, if we drop that, it's going to drop more. And we have that section which aligns here. And then we probably, this is where I love to go in. Okay. At the moment, we can see this trend line is acting as support, and we can either get a bounce there, and sometimes we sweep the bottom. Bit of a fake out, and then up, and then so I am expecting somewhere around here to be a significant level of entry, 618. So let's clean that up. A lot of scribbling. Oh, bugger. Let's see if I can delete it. Eraser, okay. No, it doesn't do it either. Let me just save this and then refresh. Okay. So let's look at that again. Close up. What I think is happening now, and it's very much aligned with Bitcoin, previous price action. Once we did this, and I didn't talk about this yet, but I will now, we have this W formation. We got 1, 2, 3, and then a rise. So let's just do that. It constantly occurs. Bitcoin does the same. It's the double bottom and then a rising wedge of some sort. And so we had that rising wedge, right? So we've got the double bottom. Similarly, we had something like that, 1, 2, 3, and then up, and then a rising wedge, and then we break down. Even here we had one. We had 1, 2, 3, and a rising wedge, and then we've got this mini version here again. we have, if it lets me, we have 1, 2, 3, and a rising wedge. Yep. And then we come back down. All rising. So W, rising wedge, down. W, rising wedge, down. And in this case, this is the daily. Let's see how we go with this. At the moment, this is just a daily chart. It's actually 2 weeks. Okay, we've got a few other stuff there. So what took place here is after, and I think it might play out again, after we did the rising wedge, we come down to the root. We have a W. So can you see that? W? And we're going to have a likely chance that we might be able to hit that. And then down. The pattern's playing out again, I think. So at the moment, if we look at this drop, we might actually be doing this, huh? That's possible. We'll see. So I think it's playing this role here. So you can see how it's gone, and it might go sideways a bit more before it goes up. We're going to hold this level up. That's a likely scenario, and that is my shorting position somewhere there. That is the total market cap. So just keep an eye on that. And what I'll do is I'll align this with Bitcoin. So let's go to Bitcoin. And I've done that pattern here. So we played that pattern there, very similar. And let's look closely. Okay, so here's my Fibonacci stuff. I'm looking at a number of levels. At the moment, these are aligned. It's an assumption. I'm using that 0 to 1. Yep. Fib, and we got the 1.272 extension. I think we're playing this out here, in here. So I think we eventually break up. I'll be looking at that as resistance again. It seems to line up with some trend line, and then further down. And do we have that level as support or that level as support? There is one. I've got another chart that's somewhere around there. But the 13K, I think, is going to be good. And I'll show you why. Give me a sec. I've got a number of models. This is a nice, this is even better. So can this hold? That's going to be interesting. This is one scenario that I'm thinking of. Let's see the other one. Let's see this. So here we go. That's our Fibonacci. Top, bottom. I'll get rid of that for a sec. 0.382 actually played its resistance. So you can see how that, if we can learn lessons from previously, let's just do that. There we go. So the point here initially 0.382. Yeah, then we went up to the 0.5 and came back down, then another sweep. So we're doing sweeps along a lot of sweeps to the bottom. So just, you might think of buying the dips. If you look at this is the absolute bottom. So this is still pretty high. Let's see what we got. Okay, so it doesn't really help us there. Okay. Let's see if this works. Yeah, we can. It's obvious that this level was support, this level is resistance, and it's acting as pretty much resistance. So inside that golden ratio. So this level is definitely resistance. We might might get another move, but I think it's going to be likely. So we're in a range, basically. This range, either get the bottom like there, and there's not much momentum at the moment, but it might just go sideways for a while, and you can short or go long, and then I think eventually we'll make a move. So with the SP 500, I think it's going to be a bit of a bounce. The DXY probably dropping a bit, and then, but I'm looking for a shorting position, and again back down, sweep the bottoms. First, if we break above it, definitely a shorting position to come down, and then sweep the bottoms, and the sweep, and then another sweep, or sorry, sweep the top, and then sweep the bottom in this range. It's done it so many times. If you look at it here, if that was our bottom and that was our top range, you can see how you sweep the top, came back down, sweep the bottom, and then went up again, and then pretty much did another sort of rising wedge. So I'll be looking for rising wedges a lot, and then look for rejection. The market's not going to be bullish anytime soon. When we looked at the SP 500, even here's one thing that really stood out, and someone posted it. Give me a sec. And this is margin on the SP 500. In the past, if you look at margin or margin debt, when over here you can see. Actually, I could just edit this, can't I? Where is it? Here we go. Let me get my pen out. When we had this level going up, debt was dropping, and then hit another margin. Debt was at its lowest, and that's when it went up here too. So this is heading south, and there's a bit of bullish divergence. So this is heading south, and it's a good thing. Doesn't look like there'll be a margin call, and this will be a nice indicator, I think, to this level, somewhere there. And then when we see some bullish divergence to go back up. So I still so this could likely just continue going sideways downwards, and this could be a good indicator on when to go long. So I just wanted to share that as an indicator. The housing market is not looking good, so that might drop things as well. Based on Alessio's chart, you can look that up. So going back to Bitcoin, this one model where I think we get a rejection, and we can play out this what seems to be bearish, which is actually a bullish a descending wedge, and so I'm looking for a drop. Hopefully it drops there. That will be a nice entry for my wave 5. So if you look at this on the bigger picture, guys, you can see this model. Oops, I should have done that. It's this picture here. I'm looking for this type of scenario as well. It could potentially play out. It's ideally 10K. That is, but I think the 13K is a good mid 13K is where I'm looking to go long, and then it's likely to break up, go make some gains, and then come back down. How does that correlate with SP 500 and Dixie? Not sure, but I'm looking at this model as well. So this model, actually, this model works for the top, and we had that model similar down there. This is a bit messy, but it still could play out. So just keep an eye on this. There's two ways of looking at this model, and at the moment, I've got my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is there, and there's the other one where you can sweep the bottom. This one could also be pushed down here. And you can see 1, 2, that could be my 3, 4, and 5, the orange one. So there's two potential ways of this working out. That's one macro scenario. I like the Fibonacci levels that I've got. The 1.618, this one hits the 11K. And from the local perspective, we have these fib levels as well, as you know, as I've shown. So I'm still looking for a short entry somewhere. I've already got a short, but it's not the best. I would like this to go up, find a nice shorting position to come back down more. All right, now let's look at other coins. So actually, let's look at Bitcoin dominance first. We'll look at Bitcoin dominance on the weekly. You know what? It does look like it's going to go up. Let's see what we got. I'll just save this, refresh. Noise in the background is basically my fan. All right. When I look at this, Phoenix, this is the weekly. The Phoenix is still bullish. And we can see the momentum going to the upside. RSI is still high. Nothing bearish. So Bitcoin dominance pressures to the upside at the moment. And you can see from, if I was to, let's see, hide this for a sec. Just clean it up. Oh, damn, a whole bunch of them there. So you look at this structure, it looks like a reversal. Complex structure. It played out two roles, one there, right, of some sort. It played that, found its peak, and you can say that sort of that model looks like Bitcoin and then comes back down again. So what we have here is a W taking place. So it's come back down, and it's likely to do that. It's obviously finding the middle or the mean, which is probably here, as resistance. So if we were to get a Fibonacci on that, probably makes sense. Yeah, the 6. Yeah, there you go. This is our 618 level, give or take. So let's just reverse this. Where's that one? Oh, here we go. So our middle, and you can say if we align this a bit more, that 618 level, this is our main resistance for Bitcoin dominance, and I think it will likely to go to that level there. Can we see a bigger picture? Well, that's not really. It is a complex structure at the moment. So we have a number of ways of looking at this. It doesn't look like it wants to drop. If we do this, RSI is still high. This is still high. So Bitcoin dominance is still in control. Yeah, so this is bullish divergence, isn't it? Here we go. That's a bullish divergence taking place. It's hit its so it might just go sideways for a while. Obviously, there's some levels. Anyway, that's what I got there. Bitcoin dominance. One chart that I didn't discuss at the moment, and I'll bring it out. Let's see, low. See that dominance. Damn, it's not the one I really wanted. So here we go. This is not easy at all. Let's see if I got another chart. I'm done with that. I'll give you a break. It's not working for me. Load. Okay. This might do it here, this chart. Okay, so on my left is USDC dominance, and it's actually broken above, hasn't it? Could still come down though. It's finding resistance here definitely, but it could also find support on this trend line. So that USDC could still go up, but not much. But if this is a bullish macro, this could go wave 5 up here. This is my theory. Somewhere up here, wave 5, and that's where we're going to find our bottom. With this one here, very similar. It's a rising channel. It's at a resistance level, so that sort of aligns with our crypto as well. Indecision is going to spike up a bit, or is it going to spike down? So it's a nasty one. We don't know what's going to happen there. Nothing really gives us a clue. Point off, but I do feel like there could be that chance if this plays out. I'll be looking to if Tether and USDC both go up. I'll be looking for the wave 5, and that will be my bottom for the big crypto market or Bitcoin in itself. So this is just keeping an eye on this, see how it goes. We had double tops here on Tether. We might have just one more before it breaks down. That could be another signal, this one here. So if this plays out, then that is the bottom. But at the moment, we might just go sideways in this channel. So let's have a look at a few coins. Glimmer. Oh. So there was actually a good move today. Bit of a buy, it dropped. So that was a good buy there. And it's come to resistance. Let's see how we do that. It's not an easy one. Could play the worst case scenario where this is a head and shoulders type of thing, and it's just continue to go down. But then again, we might just get that double bottom. So I did average in here, just bought a little bit. I'm buying the bottom, and this might just go up like I think, and then probably come back down again. I'm not putting much money into it, but I did buy just before, but I didn't do a leverage trade. So that was I did a spot averaging in. So I'm averaging on this one, and I'm going to just stake those. Now looking at the bigger picture on Glimmer, it does look like a channel that it's coming down with. So if we were to do that, and if we were to get let's get rid of that for a sec. So this is the 4 hour. Let's look on the daily. Is there bullish divergence? This level looks like good support. So if you look at this, again, all my icons are missing, so I have to refresh the page. If you've got any questions, just raise them. Let me see if there's any questions. No. Let's see. Hi chat. There's no chat. So looking at Glimmer, I just want to hide this for a sec. Let's just get rid of these, clean up the chart a bit, and I'll just do that as well. So what we can see here, it's really resisting to go down further. We've seen that in the past where it's like that, just goes sideways for a while, then hits a key level and then drops. And so what we have here is really, we have this formula here. So buying at this bottom range is okay, and it's likely to go up, hit a key pivot point. We don't know what that is, but there is no formation that's going to really help us here. You can see this one. Look how it works. It just grinds, and then drops. Bang, and it drops hard. So you get a rise on the RSI, and that's pretty much indicating it's a grind and then drops. So got to be careful how you look at these charts. This one's got no grind, it's just flat. So this could go sideways and just keep going down. So if I look at it from a Fibonacci perspective, when do I want to go long? This is one level I'm interested in, 20 cents. So what you want to do is, this could still go sideways for a while, go sideways for a while, and might take, say if you buy here, you've got your top and your bottom. So this is likely to go up. I don't think it's going to go much higher, and then probably come down something like that. And this is my level of interest, really. If I think Bitcoin's going to drop to 13K, this might happen. But if I average in here, I've got nothing to lose. I can, if it goes up, I can always have my stop loss around here, and I can take advantage of that as well. So from a trading perspective, it's a good spot. Risk to reward ratio is there. Does it give us really anything to go with? No, not really. I just got this channel, and it could be, it's an assumption. Let's see what it does. Where is it? This one here. Just push this out. So I'm thinking that middle line is our main resistance. This one here, right there. That's the middle of the channel, 0.5 fib. If we can break above that, then we might just be bullish. But I think that's where it's going to be a rejection. And then we just keep coming down slowly down, and then find our bottom, and it'll be a boring chart. Here it's been boring. Here it's starting to be boring, and then it'll just drop more, I think, until it really gets boring, and that's where you accumulate. Adder seems to be, so Adder's on a bounce, okay. So Adder is coming towards this Fibonacci level. Let's look at this. So I did my fib, give or take. So the problem is, do I take this COVID event, Black Swan event, as the bottom? And this is what's hard about it, because these Black Swan events, they don't make it easy with Fibonacci. So we've got a 618 there. I think that was it. Based on this, it does work. So the 618 made sense to buy, and it dropped it. And now it's come down to a 0.5. Might go up a bit, and then ultimately that might be the level. Or the 0.5. Maybe that's it. I don't know. We lost that level completely. And it's going to be a hard one to work out, guys, for ADA. Actually, what we should have done is look at altcoin dominance. Let me have a look at that. Let's just do this for a sec. Let me just see this for a sec. Okay, 2.618, probably acting as resistance. Let's see, yeah, so this is playing a role as well. So that's likely to be resistance, likely to be support. Nothing there of interest. XRP, wow. I did say this was probably a head and shoulders zone, so XRP really dropped there. Found a, interesting enough, found a support level of fib. Which fib is that? Okay, we just did that. This looks like a macro head and shoulders. I think this is what I'm looking for. 20 cents or so. Measured move. For now, it's this move, which is probably 27 cents. So it's dropped that key level. And the bigger move is probably that there to 20 cents around here. So I've got these, if this head and shoulders playing out. And yep, it seems like it dropped. As soon as it dropped that level, see how Bitcoin, Ripple just dropped hard. Interesting. That was a hard drop. Missed that opportunity. I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Looking at Bitcoin at the moment, it's pretty boring and just it's going to go sideways for a while. So there's nothing there really on the daily chart. But as I said, I do feel like it's going to play some sort of W formation like that on a smaller scale, and so we're seeing that 1, 2, 3, and then maybe find a resistance there, or even there, and then further down. That's what I'm looking for, that type of formula, and it might just fit in. Do we have anything there? I'm not sure, but it does fit into the macro descending wedge type of scenario. This could continue down all the way down to there, which is 13, 14, 13 or 14K. That's where we got a lot of support in the past. And see how we go. And I'll wrap it up on that. Please give me a like and share. Got any questions, post them forward and I'll try to answer them. Talk to you soon. Cheers.